the South Africa issue, which is really ridiculous. Can you give us the background to the story of Falabi? Yeah.
Yeah, basically, it's about this South African issue where South Africa is about to enter into an agreement that would allow Ukrainian diplomats free access, free visas into South Africa. And, and it's an agreement that is not fully on board with all the component parts of the
Yeah.
government of national unity. It's some of them that are sanctioning, particularly the DA. ANC and MK are not sold on it, and they make it look as if it's cut and dry. So basically, people are not happy with the fact that they are making it look as if it's already been signed
Yeah.
into law.
And can I say something? So this comes uh, a few days. I think they're just doing it to disrespect Ramaphosa and Russia, because a few days before that, Ramaphosa made a statement about South Africa stands with Russia, and Russia has been a friend of South Africa, and we are together.
And
Then the
Ukraine
next
also stands with Israel, and you know how South Africa feel about that.
stands against it. So to me,
So
this
it's
is
very
propaganda. Yeah.
very
So to me, this
polarized.
is a propaganda uh, in which they're trying to counter South Africa, which stands for anti-apartheid, because Israel is an apartheid state. South Africa went through apartheid. They stand with Palestine. They also stand with Russia. During apartheid, the Soviet Union gave South African freedom fighters and Mozambican freedom fighters and Zimbabwean freedom fighters weaponry to fight white supremacy. And now a white supremacist faction of the government of national unity is coming out 2 days later to say that they stand in alliance with Ukraine, which is also a Nazi state. Ukraine has neo-Nazis there who are attacking Russians. I'm not saying Russians are saints, but they're attacking Russian-speaking people. And what and the next question is, why should you can have dealings with Ukraine? Why should you give them free visa, but you don't give other countries? So it's very clear that this is something to try to make Russia angry, and it's coming within the South African government. And it's also a strike back by the US. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not saying this is a fact, because they're angry at South Africa for BRICS, because this was during the South Africa BRICS meeting, and also for South Africa for taking Israel to the court. So here's what the guy said. First of all, he lied. They said South Africa signs free. I'm speaking loosely. They've signed an agreement with Ukraine for a free pass without having to have a visa, which is not true, because until Ramaphosa signs it, it's not the law. This is very disrespectful for the
Exactly.
minister below Ramaphosa to come and give this release while Ramaphosa is having a meeting with Russia, who is a key ally to South Africa. They said, oh, he's an ally that Ramaphosa and Putin are allies, but he's not an ally to South Africa. No, Russia is an ally to South Africa only because of their economic agreement. Would you agree, Afolabi? Very quickly here.
Yes, I agree with you. And the most annoying thing about this agreement is the fact that the announcement was made by Leon Schreiber, who is a
Yeah,
member of the Democratic Alliance, without
yeah,
official authorization
yeah. Can I
from
read the letter
President
real quick,
Cyril
then I'll come back to
Ramaphosa.
you? He said, I am honored to announce that in my capacity as Minister of Home Affairs. So that's the first thing, in my capacity. That's his way of saying I can do this regardless of what the president said. Rubbish. Every constitution knows the president is the chief. As Minister of Home Affairs representing the Republic of South Africa, I have signed, and he said, I have, not South Africa, an historic agreement
Yes.
granting visa free access to our country for Ukrainian holders of diplomatic, official, and service passports, and vice versa. Then he says, we continue. No, not we. You're speaking for yourself. You're not speaking for South Africa. See how he's playing with language. We continue to see
Has
Ukraine.
Ramaphosa reputed it?
No, no, no.
Rebuked it?
He
No,
hasn't.
no, no,
No,
no.
We'll
he's
get
Yeah,
to
not
that.
He has
repudiated
not
it.
it
said
No,
hasn't
anything.
he
even been
hasn't signed it.
authorized. It hasn't
And he
been
said that he's
authorized.
not designing it until he looks into it. We continue to see Ukraine as a valued ally. This is exactly what Ramaphosa said. He said we continue to see Russia. So what he's doing is mocking Ramaphosa. We continue to see Ukraine as a valued ally. On the day after, Ramaphosa said we continue to see Russia as an ally, as a valued
Russia is
friend.
smart enough to see the mischief, I think.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
no,
Of
think
you
they're
course,
know,
going to
Putin
support
knows.
it.
He knows. This is why this is stupid. White supremacy is actually
deliberately
stupid.
contradictory statements.
Yeah, but white supremacy is stupid because everybody
Exactly.
knows this is
Yeah,
stupidity
Russia
coming from
has
the
no
DA.
history
And
of
I'm going to
white
say it to all of you
supremacy,
people in
funnily
South
enough.
Africa, whether you like it or not in South Africa, the DA is a rubbish, effed up organization, which is white supremacist. Put comments tomorrow. I can't wait. Okay, let's continue.
Yeah,
Okay, I
Russia
can't wait.
doesn't
I
have a
want to hear
history of
anybody who
colonialism.
puts a comment in defense of DA. I'm going to keep you there so we can keep a list of who the racist people in the world are. Okay, we continue to see Ukraine as a valued ally, as a valued friend who supported us from the beginning. From the beginning of what? Russia supported South African, not South Africa, they supported ANC to fight
Soviet Union.
Soviet,
So
yeah,
that's why they
yeah,
want to
Soviet
say that
Union,
they're
yeah.
part of
So yeah,
Of
Soviet
course,
that's
Union.
more specific.
of
From the days
course.
of our struggle against apartheid, Ukraine had nothing. You know what he's doing? He's playing with words because Ukraine was
Yes,
part of the
Ukraine was
Soviet
part of the
Union.
Soviet Union.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, but he's playing with words because then you might as well say Russia too. Okay,
yeah.
so he's
Yeah.
being ambiguous. I look forward to President Ramaphosa adding his signature to this agreement. So that's all we need to hear. Ramaphosa hasn't added a signature, and he came out and said he said I have signed, but the way they did it in the news is that South Africa has signed. No, until Ramaphosa signs it, no. So take us to this point, Falabi. What has Zuma told Ramaphosa?
Zuma has told Ramaphosa not to sign because he feels it's a slap on the other component parts of the government of national unity. In fact, President Jacob Zuma's opposition party, the MK, they've expressed their disapproval. They've urged Ramaphosa not to endorse the agreement. They contend that it could facilitate an influx of right-wing Ukrainians into South Africa, which could be very dangerous for
Yes.
the government of
Yes.
national
Let me give you an
unity.
example. Let me give you an example.
Russia has more
Even
to offer South Africa than Ukraine.
and here's the
The
thing.
end
And
of
here's the thing.
story.
Why? Here's a bigger question I have. South Africa doesn't give other African nations free visa into South Africa. So why should they do it to you for Ukrainians? Come on, this
Exactly.
is rubbish.
It's a far right. It's a far right
Far right. And there's
agenda.
already been a problem. They found Libyan soldiers in South Africa training on farms. Nobody knows what they're doing there. They're terrorists. So we don't want South Africa to become a dumping ground. Also, if I'm from Nigeria or the US, I need a visa to go there. I don't have any complaints. And if I commit a crime, kick me out. So why must we let? So what they're doing is they're trying to take the World War III to South Africa by infiltrating it with Nazis. What are your thoughts, Kunle? Then we'll go
Yeah, I
to
mean,
Saeed. Yeah, I drank too much
South
wine.
Af
I was about to call Saeed Warif.
South Africa, I mean, Black America and Black Africa, we broke away from colonialism and Jim Crow in the 60s. South Africa about 30 years behind, but they've made more progress in the short term than those other two areas in the
Thank
battle.
you.
But you
Thank
can
you.
see clearly that there is still a very tough battle. The two main battlegrounds of white supremacy and apartheid is South Africa and Palestine, and it is the battle for humanity. And as we've seen in the US Civil War and World Wars, they've always been about special races and supremacy of one person over another based on race, which looks to me like it could be the beginning and end of mankind. It's his vanity that can destroy him when it comes to these fervent beliefs. And it's not just black and white, it's tribal. And, even when you wipe out all the white people, then they'll now wipe out all the ginger people, and then they'll now, then they'll
They'll
wipe
fight
out all the
themselves.
green-eyed people, and then all the haze. It just gets smaller and smaller and
And
smaller.
it'll get to the other family. It'll get to the level of family.
Yes,
That other
it
family.
naturally the self-destructive nature of man, but it's the same thing that drives us also to invention and to progress. So I don't know whether this duality is necessary for us. That some people just have to die for human
No, we don't have to.
civilization to
It's a
progress.
problem for
I'm not
humans.
saying because of what they think. I'm
Yeah,
saying because we become better at killing, we develop better technology for killing,
technology.
and that technology we develop for killing has applications in peacetime. And so the two things go together. The most violent civilizations tend to have the best
Yeah.
technologies
Can I add one thing,
because they
Kule?
fought.
I think the problem with human beings is that we need to master, and I'm saying this, I'm not being funny or metaphorical. We need to master the technology and innovation of psychology and sociology and human togetherness. That's also, but it's not concrete like machinery. Machinery is easy to see. There's also a spiritual technology in which we need to continue pushing forward human consciousness, which is a science also. That's all I have to
Yeah.
say.
We need to
And
unite
also,
against, we need aliens so that we can unite against
yeah.
aliens.
Take
Then
us
we
to
stop
your
fighting
leader. They say,
ourselves.
take us to your leader. Then when we
Yeah.
show them our leader, they kill them.
If you see space aliens, racism will end in one day once
In
you
one
have
day. Yeah.
space aliens.
You're right. Thank you very much. Kunle, that was brilliant. Very beautiful. Thank you very much. What are your thoughts, Saeed? Yeah.
Yeah, I think generally to what you just said about we trying to from the point you made that we Africans we should try and be thinking for ourselves and all that. I think that will be hard because I will go back to the fact that our leadership are not ready to actually help we masses to grow, because the media, the places we are supposed to get information, as in true information from, that can help us grow as Africans, they control it. So
Well, here's the
how are
thing.
we going to?
Sorry to interrupt you, which is
Yeah,
why you need to
yeah.
watch our show. And eventually we're going to have our own app because they still control YouTube. I'm serious.
Yeah,
Continue.
yeah, of
Continue.
course, of course. Cause we are opening eyes and opening, as in we help you think for yourself. But
Yeah.
only few people in Africa, let's not even go far. A lot of people, I think some few days ago, I posted in my WhatsApp status that a lot of people are dumb. A lot of people are dumb. You would think
Yes.
that some common sense thing that they're supposed to know, they don't actually know it.
No.
A lot of them ignorance and all that stuff. So going back to what we are discussing about, the South Africa and Ukraine thing, of course, because we are learned and we follow the news, we know that America is behind some of these things, and
Of course they're
it's
behind it.
propaganda and all that.
Yeah.
But a lot of South Africans, shout out to South Africans. I'm not trying to pull anyone down.
They don't know it yet.
A lot of South Africans don't know what is going on. They're just thinking that okay, it's a normal thing. If this thing hasn't come to limelight news,
But
this
also,
thing can
Sai,
be
we're
swept
saying the
under
same thing
the
about
news.
Nigeria. We don't know what US is doing to us also. Thank you. Continue. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. A lot of Nigerians don't know. We know, but a lot of
Yeah.
Nigerians don't know. That's
Yeah.
why a lot of laws and a lot of things are going scot-free in Nigeria,
Over
that
our heads.
our
Yeah.
leaders can go. Yeah, just like what we
Thank you.
discussed about saying that American government can't tell us that they don't know that Tinubu is who he is.
Oh yeah, we
You
know who he is.
understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
So exactly. So
for the Weibo guy who slapped the driver, he doesn't know our address. Thank God. He'll come. I can
so
make you disappear. I can make you disappear
anyways,
from YouTube.
so anyways, I think the Western NATO and US government, some US government officials are trying to sabotage what South Africa and
It won't
Russia
work. It's
and the
not going to work.
BRICS company.
South Africa is on the
Yeah,
right track.
yeah,
It's not going to work. Yeah.
yeah.
So let me move on.
But you
This
never
has
can
been one.
tell. They will try. They are trying right now. You
Oh yeah,
never
they have
can
to get.
tell.
No, no. Let me tell you something. In history, no empire goes down without a fight. The Roman Empire fought and they lost. Every empire rises.
Exactly.
After this empire falls down, maybe it'll be China and Russia. They too will fall. And then eventually Africa will rise, but we'll have the same fall because of this historical circle. What do you think, Kunle? Yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed that question.
No, I was just saying
Could
that
you ask
basically
me?
the US is going to fight to keep its empire. So they're going to try to destroy South Africa. But that's we've learned from history that when an empire is dying, that's what they do. But they will fail.
Yes,
They will
yes,
fail.
yes. They say that they make the gods are driven mad before they're destroyed.
Yeah,
I think that
this is the
The
end of
BRICS,
their empire, and the end is ushered because of what they did to Palestine, which is just as bad as what the Nazis did to the Jews. It
yes,
doesn't matter
it's
about numbers.
accelerating.
Yeah.
A lot of countries going to drop dollar. I think the
Oh no, they're
US
going to drop the
government knows.
dollar.
Yeah,
Thank
they
Yeah,
God.
so
already
I
are
think
dropping
that
the dollar. We've dropped the dollar
That's why they
already
a
killed
lot.
Gaddafi.
for our
They killed
food,
Gaddafi to slow down the process of losing the dollar.
but they
So
can't
let's
I
move
stop
think
on.
it.
that's what they're trying to do again now.
Thank you guys. So we're going to move on because we don't have time, but we're beautiful. We've done this in 20 minutes. So I'm going to go back to the thing about Leon Schreiber, who said, I'm honored to announce that in my capacity as Minister of Home Affairs representing South Africa, I've signed an agreement with Ukraine. Vincent Magwenya, who is a spokesperson for South Africa, said the president is yet to sign authorizing the minister to sign the agreement with Ukraine. It is unclear how the minister can announce signature of international agreement without formal prior authorization to do so. So what he's saying is that this guy committed a constitutional offense. He signed
It's
something
enough
in.
to take him out of office.
No, but let me tell you why they won't. Because he's white and DA has power. And this goes to you, Afolabi. This national government of unity with ANC and DA is rubbish. It should have been ANC, EFF, and MK
Exactly.
Party because those are black parties. This national government unity is the national of government disunity. What do you think?
Yeah. I agree with you. And this kind of agreement is going to strain diplomatic ties with Russia,
Yeah, but
especially.
I think Putin knows. So it's up to. Sorry, I'm going to say one more thing. It's up to Ramaphosa. If he signs that thing, he's destroyed his relationship with Russia.
Of course,
If he signs it, yeah,
look at BRICS, for
Of course,
instance. It's going to
yeah.
compromise
I don't
the
think he'll
stand
sign
in
it. He's not going to
BRICS.
sign it. Go ahead.
He's not going to sign it. And then it's going to fragment the GNU even more. And the future of
Which
the
is good because
GNU.
they need to fragment it and then join with EFF. And sorry to get in front of you. That's my last thing I'm going to say. They need to fragment it and then have more democratic and bring all of the parties in South Africa together and let them. That should be the true unity. Continue. Yeah.
Of course. So they are just playing with words. We all know that, of course, it was called Soviet Union in those days, and they supported apartheid. They supported South Africa against apartheid. But of course, we all know that Russia, the seat of the Soviet government was in Russia. So why bring in
Not
Ukraine
Ukraine.
and make everybody look stupid? You know, those
Very
gays
good point.
guys, they're just playing on people's intelligence. I think that guy should
They don't
step
know that
down from
we're.
his
They don't
position
know
as
that
secretary.
they don't know that we're Yoruba folks. We know what they're saying.
Exactly.
And
And
also, because
like
I know Kunle is partly Rivers too,
And
and
like
also Epic on Rivers too.
Said rightly mentioned too, all our leaders are just puppets of Western and imperialist states,
But it's
basically.
changing because they're moving. Even Nigeria is doing business with China now. We're
Oh,
beginning
sure,
to change. Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
And
Yeah,
so that
China
there's
do
a
so
campaign
much
for
more.
de-dollarizing.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I'm not a pro China, but we have to trade with them now because it's advantageous. But we have to eventually have an African Union with an African currency. So last thoughts, Kunle. Then we'll go to Said and Afolabi. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, I think that I would like to think that the upcoming BRICS and the New World Order is being born. It looks like the United Nations is dying. It
Yes,
really
thank
looks
God.
like it's becoming like the League of Nations. Israel
Yeah.
throughout the UN HCR, one of the
Yeah.
UN agencies, out of Gaza.
UN
They
is a
can't
joke now.
enforce anything. The veto has been overly abused, and
Kunle, can I add one more thing? Israel is killing UN workers too and aid workers in there. They're
yes,
killing them.
yes,
Yeah.
they killed one this yesterday or today, very recently. They killed
Yeah.
one in a truck, shot him, not even missile strike, bullet.
This
I
is
mean,
this is fascism.
it's showing weakness. It's showing weakness that the UN is crumbling, literally crumbling
Hallelujah.
before our very
Hallelujah.
eyes. And it looks like BRICS is actually going to not just take over G7, it looks like it's going to take over the UN. Because, I mean, there's 150 countries out of less than 200 countries in the UN. 150 of
Global
them.
South.
150 of them feel exactly the way we do about Palestine. But because we're only looking at the media from one or two Western countries, which is very loud, you don't realize how overwhelmingly loud the voice of the world is. 150 countries are saying that these people are committing a genocide out of like 170. That's like 6 billion out of 7 billion people or
Yeah.
something like that. It's
Yeah.
huge.
Change is coming.
Over
So let's
90.
thank
Over
you, Kule.
90
And
Also,
those
Kule,
percent.
you're
and
on
even
fire
those
today.
countries,
Kule, you
and
must
even
have had
those
origin
countries
today. Oh,
Yeah, and even those countries that are supporting the genocide, their people don't support it.
no, they don't.
Yeah, so even those countries that the governments are
Yeah,
complying, the
a
only
lot of
country whose
Israelites
people
don't support it.
and
Yeah.
Even Israelites
governments
don't
are
support it.
aligned is Israel. It's only
Even in
Israel whose
America,
people and
they
governments
just
are
don't
aligned.
show the Americans are against it. They
Yeah,
just don't
and
show
the
them.
few
No,
supremacists
Yeah.
it's
scattered
way
around
too
a few
much. I
Western
think by now
countries.
they should have sorted it out. It's
Yeah.
way
Yeah,
too much. What Israel is
Oh,
doing in Palestine is way too
okay.
much
So,
for
Sai,
now.
give us 30 seconds to a minute of your last thoughts. Then we'll go to Afolabi. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll still go back to my point. Our
Yeah.
leaders, it boils down to our leaders to make the right choice, because if they don't make the right choice, we will suffer. They say when an elephant and a lion are fighting, as our elders used to
The
say,
ants die.
it is the ground
That's
that will
suffer.
suffer. So our leaders, I hope they get it right so that we can, our African country can actually improve faster and grow faster, and hopefully that happens in our own generation. I'm
Yeah.
hoping.
And also, I'm hoping that at least for you, for Arsenal, the Arsenal pitch doesn't suffer. I'm joking. That's just a joke. All right, take you guys. Thank you. I'm not joking. Our best show so far. We're African Agenda, also World Agenda. This is one world, and we are on YouTube, but we're going to be on other apps. So please like and subscribe and support us so we can keep kicking the truth in order to save our world. Thank you, Said. Afolabi, last thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically this incident raises important questions, more questions about the viability of a GNU and the capacity to manage complex international relations. You know, you can see an evident lack of consensus and coordination on such a very important issue. It underscores the challenges that they have, you know, in maintaining a unified government. It's very funny how you can have a government of national unity. It doesn't look as if it's possible in South Africa. That's just my last thought.